It is 7:42. It's Gomez with TeNesha here. As we welcome in Jeff Rogers here, our pal. It's Business Tip Tuesday. Jeff, good morning. How are you today?
Morning, Gomez. TeNesha, how are you guys today?
Excellent, Jeff.
Yeah.
Rogers with just a G?
Just a G, no D in that. I love how you do that.
Well, you know what? We were wondering here before we get started about 7 o'clock shots and shout-outs here. But, obviously you're in a little bit later, but you're welcome to. I will have one with you.
I would feel left out.
Like, right. I'll just make a little bit.
Just a little one.
Yeah, it's ceremonial. It's just enough to, celebrate life.
Love it.
Right?
Thank you.
Sometimes we take a lot of things for granted. We're up and relatively healthy today, and nothing bad is happening.
That's
so
right.
Sometimes we get caught up in the negativity of the world, and the reality is we got a lot going on here. So, cheers.
Cheers.
Let me get hang on 1 minute. Let me get the official tune here for you.
That's right. Gotta do it.
Down the hatch.
Down the hatch.
Now, Jeff, this is a little stronger than last
I was
week.
going to say, that'll wake you up in the morning.
I forgot to tell you.
Yeah, we forgot to mention it.
Yeah.
UConn Jack.
The last one was a little bit of a lightweight. This was good morning. Holy night.
Yeah, good morning and good night.
Too
All
fun.
in the same one.
No wonder you guys have so much fun around here. Yay.
Yeah, that's right. It's just it's a celebration of life. And, that's really what a lot of what you teach and what you do in your business as an executive business coach is sometimes people lose track of what they're actually good at or what they can offer. And we were just talking off mic here, but on qsportstalk.com, everybody has something. Everybody has some ability, some talent.
Absolutely.
Something they maybe not realize, but you're a guy that helps them realize that and take it to the next level, the next step.
And try to pull that out, right? A lot of times people take their talent for granted. This week's Business Tip Tuesday was kind of focused on gaining focus and clarity and then establishing priority to that. A lot of times we think just because we could do something that we should do it, right? And oftentimes that helps us get overly cluttered in that feeling of being overwhelmed. So to be able to take and understand the priority, I put together a little tip in there, and I'm thinking maybe your listeners would appreciate this, right? So when we think about all the things that we could do and should do and the lack of time that we have and all those interesting conundrums that we clutter our minds with, think about this. When you try to establish priority, kind of break down what is your time worth, right? So we know what our time is worth when we're paid at work, right? So there's the professional time, but what is your personal time worth? What's it worth to you? Put a dollar value to that. And then organizationally, if you manage people, what does it cost to organize that organization time-wise? What does it cost per hour? And here's where it gets really interesting. Like everybody goes, yeah, sure, I can do that. Now divide that by 60 and figure out what that is per minute. A little trick that high-performing executives and leaders have is instead of breaking the calendar down into 30-minute time blocks, that's kind of what we're taught to do. I don't know why that is, but we look at the half hour and we set meetings for a half hour and so on. What would happen if you then set that for 20 minutes? Try it. Instead of booking things for a half hour, book them for 20 minutes. You just saved 10 minutes, and you say to yourself, yeah, big deal. Well, now assign that to that dollar value per minute that you just came up with. It starts to have a little bit more meaning. But now think about it this way. Instead of getting 2 things done in an hour, now you're getting 3 things done in an hour. So you've just found a third more value and time in your productivity. It's pretty amazing.
And I think anybody who's had meetings knows you could shorten meetings a lot.
Oh, my gosh.
Right?
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
a lot.
They drone on, and for what? You're out, a lot of clutter in there.
Right.
So when you kind of gain that focus and then prioritize that time, now all of a sudden you're doing the things that you should be doing, not just all the things that you could do because your priority set is now refocused.
What's a good way to start, a good beginning to start prioritizing things, writing them down, or how do you say, okay, what should be number one? How do you determine that? Because a lot of times it's like, well, I need to do this first. No, maybe I need to do this first, then do that. How do you know? How can you get that organized?
Well, I think the first idea is to understand what you're setting out to do, to have a goal. A lot of times people go through life just doing what they think they're supposed to be doing or what they've always done. So to recalibrate and refocus and set those goals and then to write them down, I think is a great way to do it, because when things are bumbling around in our head, it then connects to our emotion, and then certain things become priority that might not because of the way we're feeling, where when we put it down on paper, we're doing that more in a cognitive sense. and we can establish that priority more with reason, not with emotion attached to it, and then begin to execute those things. And then deploying that process that I just shared with you, holy cow, we can get a lot of stuff done in a much more organized way.
Right. Yeah.
Jeff Rogers, he's an executive business coach here with us, Gomez and TeNesha on Tuesday, Business Tip Tuesday. And I'm looking at kind of the piece that you put together. There's a great quote on there. You won't regret the job you did. You'll regret the passion you didn't pursue.
Yeah.
Which is an awesome saying right there. And people who are seeing that or hearing that, everybody's got something in the back of their head maybe they've always wanted to do or try, but you're right. You kind of get sucked into that. It's like, I don't want.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's not going to work.
It's not really
I'm
going
to lose my shirt.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where you come in.
Or they're just fearful. False expectations appearing real.
That's the real one right there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, especially when you're trying to start your own business, it's like, it's not going to work. And, it's a good idea at first when you first think about it. It's like, oh, man, I'm going to go out and do this. And then when you start thinking about how to accomplish
it's
crazy, right?
It is overwhelming. Yeah, but and you have some help. This is probably more after you've gotten into your business, but your little bullet zone here, your bullseye
targets.
here, your targets that you can set. And that's what people should be doing.
Yeah, in that target, we talk about the comfort zone. And we started to talk about that last week.
Mm-hmm.
And then outside the comfort zone, which is where most of us like to live.
Right.
Yep.
I think of that space as we're on a couch in our favorite clothes, drinking our favorite adult beverage, and everything is good, right? We're not stressed in any way.
Amen, brother.
That's a great place.
Who wants to get out of that zone?
I think I'm here now, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's Happy Gilmore on television.
Outside of that is the learning zone. And that's where a lot of the work gets done. That's where we can expand. And then beyond that ring is the uncomfortable zone. And that's where a lot of people start to recoil because it's just that. It's uncomfortable. We don't like that as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the panic zone. And then beyond that is the growth zone.
Yay.
So to be able to get where you want to go, you've got to push through all those rings, do the work. That's what we talk about a lot at Jeff Rogers Coach, is you got to do the work to earn the results that you desire.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people start to curl back when the going gets tough.
Yeah.
And a person like myself helps you walk through that process together.
Yeah.
An accountability partner. We were talking a little bit about that off air.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the value of a person like myself.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Jeff Rogers, the website, Jeff, so people can log in because you have some other events coming up too. There's a lot of information on there for people.
Yeah, it's jeffrogerscoach.com, Gomez. I'll say that again, jeffrogerscoach.com. And there too, you can register for the Business Tip Tuesdays and be able to have them come directly to you, like you guys have yours.
Yeah.
Cool. Love it. Jeff, thanks.
Thanks very much.
We'll see you next week. And, during a break here, hell, we can have another shot if you want.
Whoa, I think I'm going to just take my one and go. Thanks, guys.
See you next week, Jeff.